Welcome to another episode of The Gentleman's Jury. I'm your host, Robbie, and today I'm going to be talking about kind of a couple things, just giving you guys an update. This is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode. Some exciting news. I am starting a novel. Um, it was kind of a off the just kind of a chance suggestion that I've been playing around with in my head for a couple of years, and I've decided to kind of go for it. So, um, I'll give you guys kind of a sneak peek on as I've developed the book a little bit more. I'm still only a couple pages in to writing it, so I want to develop it a bit more before I start kind of teasing little bits of it. And it is a fiction book. Just start out. I'm not like some of those podcasters like Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson or a couple others. They write books about what they're talking about. Um, they're mostly right, like Ben Shapiro's coming out with that authoritarian moment, the authoritarian moment. I think is what's called, coming out soon. And last summer he released 3 Easy Steps, or is it 3 Easy Steps to Destroy America or something like that? Something like that. The reason for this kind of little hiatus I had, um, we had a couple of funerals we had to attend to. Um, School, I'm as I've stated before, I'm a college student, so sometimes school takes up more time than I'd like it to. Trying to um, so you're probably wondering. I mean, I already said there's no real topic for this episode. This is just kind of just filler, real quick. Something I did want to talk about is a couple things I want to advocate for, real quick. Hobbies. Most people have a hobby, maybe two. Um, if you don't, try to get one or two. Something you could dedicate an hour or two of your life to. I mean, I do this for as a hobby. I'm writing a book as a hobby now. Um, Depending on some of the how it turns out, I might have it published, which would be really cool. I mean, like that's something I've always kind of wanted to do. Is at least write a book, something that maybe someone somewhere likes. Not I don't think I'm writing something like the next big Harry Potter or anything like that. But I was originally thinking about writing a screenplay, actually, or a script, if you will, screenwriting for a show I had an idea for, but I decided to can that. I can't write screen. I can't write for TVs or for the TV. It's too much dialogue. I mean, I understand how to write dialogue. It's just like that's the focus, and I like to look at the entire world and kind of like what's going on, what's this. I will kind of give you an idea for yeah. And I said I wouldn't, but now I'm overexcited. Um, the book will follow three characters through this journey. I'm having them embark on, if you will. I might end up having to break it into. I have so many ideas. It's so cool for me to have gotten this kind of back. I actually I kind of got this back when I was dealing with I was down with my grandparents, and my grandmother used to be like, "Little man, tell me a story." And when I was real little, I'd be like, "Oh well, once upon a time," and I'd go on for 10, 15 minutes, and then I'd say the end. And like sometimes she'd get really upset because sometimes she actually got invested into some of the stories I was telling, and I'd be like, once upon a time, and I'm going, and then you could see I thought of something else, and I just abruptly go with the end, and I start writing about something else. And she'd be like, well, what the hell. um Another and so that, I mean, like, that kind of I was talking to her and she's like, "Hi, so you've been writing any more stories lately?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I tried my hand at a book a couple years ago when I was still in high school with a couple buddies. We actually had this really cool idea. Uh, we were writing three separate books, and I mean, I guess I never got over the idea because I think I'm following some of the same ideas we were playing with then. It was three characters, and each of us had a character that we made, and and the dialogue synced up. So like my character and one of my buddy's characters would have a conversation, and you would see both conversations in each book play out exactly the same, except how your your my specific character was reacting was how I would have reacted. And how their character reacting was how their character was reacting. So you got to see kind of like the mental image of what these characters were thinking. Like if and I'll bring up Harry Potter a little bit because I've been rereading this series, just kind of a um, offhand because of something Jordan Peterson had said a while back. But so I'm sitting there listening to I've been rereading the series, and sometimes I'm thinking, what does Hermione think about this situation, or what does Ron think about this, right? I mean, you kind of get a general idea because J.K. Rowling wrote fantastically enough, or well enough for you to get an idea of like what Ron was thinking the entire time they were dealing with the spiders, right? He was petrified in fear. um, but there's other times where it's like especially in I think it's book 5 or book 6 where I think it's book 6 where Harry starts letting he finds out that he has a connection to Voldemort that or maybe it is book 5. It's it, I'm Anyway, he finds out he has a connection to Voldemort, right? And he can hear him in his head sometimes, and it's his and um it's like how does I mean you get the general response of support from Ron and Hermione, but what are they really thinking when they hear that, right? Because it's like I guess I might be the only one who's curious about that, but it's something I've thought about at least I mean actually quite a bit. um so I guess that's kind of the premise for why I want to focus on three characters here, because I feel like this three characters will have a significant impact in my story, and if I were just following one, um, it'd be difficult to get everything that I want out. But I mean, other authors have done that too. I mean, George R. R. Martin had like 12 characters. I've read all of his books. That he's at least finished. God, kind of wish he'd finished that sixth book already. um, but I've and I'm taking some inspiration from different fantasy things like Skyrim and Lord of the Rings, and I have an idea of different races that they'll encounter in some of. But I wanted to mention something I heard Stephen King say that really stuck with me, and I think it's something I've been trying as I've been writing, and that's to just let the story unfold. Right? I mean, the plot's there. They're gonna, your characters will. If you have a good idea, the characters will follow that. But just let them play it out how they get there. Sometimes I feel like people get too wrapped up in the idea of the plot, and then sometimes you're staring at it and like going, well, why'd the character do that? That wouldn't make sense. And it's for plot reasons, and I think that's where most people get a little upset. And that's also why I don't think I could write for the big screen, right? Because, or for even for the little screen, right? Because it's like you get most shows are 22 minutes of actual content and then 8 minutes of ads or whatever, and it's like I don't know if I can cram an idea into 22 minutes. I'm following a decent idea of the story that I think is interesting might take me, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for just an episode of a much bigger story. I can't imagine writing for a movie. And it made me really appreciate some of the people who could write movies like that, like and how they direct it, because the director has to look at something like The Irishman, right, and go, this is probably a 5-hour movie, and they gotta condense it down. Or Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, they had to like cut so much out just because it was so much content. And it's like, geez, or Harry Potter's in another fantastic example, right? The first two books you don't miss out on too much. I mean, you miss out a little bit, but not too much. But as the books get thicker, especially the Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix, you're like, Jesus, my God, there's so much information here. I mean, it's just like an information dump. And it's like, gosh, yeah, it's not too long of a episode this time, I don't think, and I apologize for that. I am gonna have a guest coming back on, um, and I had an interesting idea for another guest, but we'll see about that. I won't tease that one until I know for sure. But I do have Andrew, who's been on the show before. We're working out our schedules, and you'll get to hear about. Uh, we're diving back into politics a little bit with religion into politics, which will be a really interesting topic, and I can't wait to cover that. And then, if you guys are interested in hearing about this book I'm writing, or maybe you just don't care, and that's fine too. Just this is I put this out on multiple platforms, Spotify, um, and um, YouTube is another big. It's another one I post to, which is tend to be where I kind of look to see if people leave comments or anything. Um, but you can also reach me at gentleman'sjury at gmail.com, or our Discord, which I've put in a couple of the links in some of the YouTube videos I've left. I mean, it's just a lot going on, but we're getting back on track. And I apologize for that short hiatus. It was just we needed to get some things figured out. So the uploading schedule too might change in the coming weeks or so. I might switch to more of a 3 day, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, with a bonus episode every when we do bonus episodes on Saturday, just to kind of put out more. Um, and maybe that won't happen for a little while, but that might be something that we're you know shooting for as well. If you like this, if you like my podcast, feel free to share it. That helps me out. In fact, the more people I engage, the better I feel, because I feel like some people might want to come on and have really cool ideas and things. And I just want what I feel like I've deviated a bit from the original idea, which was talk about things that people care about with people. And these past couple podcasts have been kind of by myself, and that's been challenging, because then you're doing research on all these subjects and you're not asking questions about it. And I just want to know so much about just about anything. I mean, like, that's just one of my really good friends, William. He's been on the show before. Science is he can go into in depth in a ton of science, and it's enjoyable. All of it's enjoyable for me to listen to, because I'm hearing things that I've never heard before, or you know, it's just a good time for me. So if you have stuff you want to talk about that are within the boundaries of things that you can be polite about. If we disagree on things and things like that, then feel free to reach out. We can set something up, and I can interview you, or we can just talk about a subject, or if you get into anything history, and I'm like, okay, that's my favorite. And if you're interested in the book, just let me know. A certain select amount of people might get to read you know parts of the manuscript, and I want feedback from certain people. So maybe if you say you've published a book before, and I can verify that, I might send you something just to see what you think, and then we can talk about writing and things like that. So that wraps it up for this episode. Um, like I said, we might be doing the religion and American politics, or uh, I might be doing a history episode, which would be really cool. So, well, I thank you guys for listening. Please share. Um, and yeah, thank you. You guys have a good night.